Dr. Justin Tien is a firm believer of using ride-hailing apps. He works for an on-demand medical service provider, and getting to his patients has never been easier. He and his colleagues make house calls through the provider's app, seeing an average of 4 to 5 patients a day. This translates to about 8 to 10 rides by Grab and previously Uber.
These ride-hailing app services allows us to free our mind off the worry about transportation. This allows us to focus solely on the patient's case and to also respond in a timely manner to the patient's queries, and also if the patient's clinical condition changes along the way.
Dr. Tien is just one of the many people who have ditched normal taxi services for ride-hailing apps. About 47,000 private hire cars ply the roads today, nearly double that of taxis. And operators are looking at other services which they hope will improve the customer experience.
I think Grab has been successful because we focus mainly on two things. One is on our customers and what their needs are and what problems that we're trying to solve. And those needs are very different from market to market. And then the second part is, of course, to focus on the technology, investments, and the people to solve those problems.
Since its launch in 2012, Grab has unveiled a whole suite of services, from Hitch to going cashless with GrabPay and other options for more affordable rides, and Just Grab, which combines car and taxi fleets to assign drivers quicker. It's clear that Grab is more than rides, and it continues to do more. It's therefore no surprise that global firm Uber, valued at billions, was driven out by this local startup.
There's always been this dynamic movement in the market that ensure that those with the best ideas and the most ability to attract consumers stay in the market. There are a few notable players who went to the media or openly say, I'm prepared to do this, I wanted to do this, and to set up this, and then they bemoan the fact that regulations bracket kick their sustainability. Now, whether are those plans sensible, sustainable, a lot of the time, I think investors and consumers got to be aware that these are startups, and startups do need to try new ideas.
But even disruptors can be disrupted by newer players with bolder ideas and an added advantage: the opportunity to learn from those who fail. One such is new blockchain-driven ride-hail service Tada, launched by Singapore-based company Emble.
Those giants, some of them spend a couple $1 billion, some of them $200 million to capture a whole market, but they're still suffering from deficit of business. So what we learned from that is like spending money is not the best idea to capture the whole market or to convince the market to use your service. You need to actually take care of the participants, the drivers and the customers together within this platform.
While disruption is about survival of the fittest, it also needs the right environment to thrive.
It's an interesting market, I believe, Singapore. It's one that's supported by a very pro-business environment, high world-class infrastructure. So in many ways, it's an ideal location to innovate, develop, and testbed new ideas, new solutions.
A recent report by consulting firm McKinsey said Singapore has one of the best and most affordable public transport systems, compared with 24 major cities around the world. The Republic was top for affordability and also scored well in transport efficiency and safety. And this is one thing that could force ride-hail companies out of Singapore, said one expert.
Will the ride-sharing companies disrupt and do well in Singapore? I don't know. Is it making profits? I don't think any of them is making profits. Okay. Is it showing sales growth? Yes, they are showing sales growth. Is it enjoying higher market value? Yes, they are enjoying high market value. In the short run, they make a lot of customers happy because they offer promotional codes and so on. Are they still making as many customers happy? They are not, because as they pull back on the promotional codes.
But what does this all mean for the incumbents? Now, it's not all doom and gloom for the traditional taxi industry, which has been forced to reinvent itself. We reached out to ComfortDelGro and SMRT, who declined to comment. But a look at ComfortDelGro's activities over the past few months revealed some measures that has taken to try and keep up with its disruptors. Now, these include teaming up with Uber to pool the private hire cars and their taxis together under Uber Flash, as well as more recently launching an on-demand booking app for commuters for its private charter bus services.
In the process of disruption, our incumbents have become better. They innovated. At times, they even roll out services that the new startup offered in order to be competitive to the new startup. I think it can only be good for consumers that we have better options.
So what lies ahead for this disruption? Experts say a continued convergence of offline and online offerings, even for the traditional taxi industry, and more value-added services. But one thing's for sure, regulators will need to balance between legislating and inviting new disruptors.